A few weeks ago I did a video where I pointed out the last few American LPs that I was looking for, and I invited my viewers to get in touch if they were interested in doing a trade for Japanese records or whatever. I'm very happy to say that quite a few people got in touch, and thanks to everyone who did so. And I've actually got all those records now. So my US American Black Label LP collection is pretty much as I want it now. Also, a few weeks ago I got this book, and I'll tell you what happened shortly after I bought this. So let's go back to the LPs then. First, a viewer, Jeff in the US. Hi Jeff, if you're watching this, and thanks very much for reaching out. Jeff sent me a couple of the 4 LPs that I was looking for, and the first one was Kissing Cousins. Not high on my favorites, but I did want to get it to complete the collection. So this is a nice little mono copy that I got from Jeff in America. And wouldn't you believe it, just I think it was last week or 10 days ago or so, I bought a bunch of records online, a set of LPs, and included in that set was, yep, you guessed it, another mono copy of Kissing Cousins. So now I've got 2 of them. Funny how it works out that way. And another one that, well, the other one that Jeff sent me was this really nice copy of Elvis, the second album. I specifically wanted a mono pressing of this because I've got a stereo one. And this is a slightly later mono pressing. It's got the LPM number at the bottom there. And there's the back cover. Of course, they'd stopped printing those ads on the back by then. And it came with this inner sleeve. I think this is the right inner sleeve for the early 60s. And I'll just quickly show you the LP itself. It does sound really good, does this? So it's great to have that on an American US pressing. And then I got a message from my man Dave in New York, Dave at elvisrarerecords.com, and he said, don't get any more, I'll find the last 2 that you need. And it took a few weeks, but we got there. We finally managed to come to some arrangement, and I finally got the last 2 LPs just I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And this is what Dave sent me. A really nice copy of Double Trouble. Again, not a favorite, but I really wanted it to just to complete the collection. And that album came with this interesting blue RCA Victor inner sleeve. I do have one that's quite similar with another record from, I think it was from about 1968, one of the first orange copies of Golden Records Volume 3, but the background color is red. So it does seem to have been an inner sleeve design that they were using around that time, the late 60s. And Dave also sent me the last one that I was looking for. This is one that I was very much looking forward to. A really nice copy of His Hand in Mine. I wasn't bothered mono or stereo with this particular album. It's in mono. It's got the catalogue number down here, so it's a slightly later pressing. And it's still in the shrink. So this sticker is on the shrink, so it's not a problem. And there is the back cover. So I've dealt with Dave before, and he's always offered good service and good deals to me. So yeah, if you're interested in getting in touch with Dave, elvisrarerecords.com. I'll leave some contact information down there. He's got a website and an eBay store, and feel free to negotiate with him. He's a very reasonable guy. And so that is my Elvis Presley Black Label US LP collection complete. I don't need to look for any more now. So what else did I get recently? Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, I got this book here. I was on the fence about this for a while. I ummed and ahed for a few weeks. Elvis UK Extended. If you don't know what this is, it's a book that's devoted entirely to Elvis's UK extended play releases. You might wonder how anyone can write a book this thick on, what, 2 or 3 dozen 7-inch records, but the guys at Elvis UK have done it, and it's a really, really good book. The front cover image notwithstanding, it looks like they've blown up a low-res photograph. So the cover is not very impressive, but the inside is very, very impressive. I'm not going to do a book review about that today. Maybe I'll do one in the future. But, you know, these discographers, they're quite dangerous, because when you get them, you start wanting to buy stuff. And sure enough, after I started looking through the Elvis UK extended book there, I got in the mood for buying some UK EPs. Which I hadn't done for quite some time. And the first one I got was one that I'd seen on a Japanese website for quite a long time. Just hadn't quite been able to pull the trigger on it. But they reduced the price on it, so I went for this one. It's Merry Christmas, Elvis Presley. I think this is a UK only release. And this is the later cover design, and it actually folds out. So there is the back cover. It's a really fragile thing. I've got to be careful with this. I don't want to rip it in half. And what I like about this one, it's plain on the left side there, but on the right side you can see it's got a message, very neatly handwritten. Most of these covers turn up with a little message written there from back in the day. So it's to Shelley from Auntie Margie, Uncle Joe and Michael, with love. Isn't that nice? And I'll quickly show you the record as well. Pretty tidy copy. Elvis sings Christmas songs. But I couldn't stop there. I just had to go and get some more. So I found myself on Discogs, and I found a seller on there who had quite a few nice looking, or at least nice sounding, Elvis EPs. And so I picked up some of them. Here is one. King Creole, Volume 1. That is in very nice condition. It's one of those early ones, you know, with the tri-centers. I'll just show you it. It's in really nice condition, isn't it? And he also had Volume 2. As you can see in the UK, the Volume 2 EP had the same cover as Volume 1. Now, if you're going to get Elvis EPs from the UK, the ones that you really want to get are, if I can find these, you want to get Love Me Tender. There we go. I had the page there. There we go. Love Me Tender is a very, very essential one, because it's got this unique photo on the front there, taken from the movie itself. And he says, trying not to drop the book, I found it from the same seller. Really, really nice copy. And this one is on the HMV label. His master's voice. I'll just show you the record as well, because that's in really clean condition. And the back cover is also really nice and white. You wouldn't think it was, wow, what is it now, nearly 70 years old. However, if you really want to go for the most desirable HMV, or maybe Elvis EP in the UK, you want to try and find this one, if I can find it in the book. It's called... There it is. No, it's not called Here It Is. It's called Good Rockin' Tonight. There it is. Now, I used to have that EP in my first collection, and it was one of the very last records I sold. Would have been about 1990. One of the very last records I still had. And one day I just needed the money, so I took it into a record shop in the city centre where I lived. And I remember the woman that ran the shop, she was just looking at it like, oh, wow, what's this? You know, I mean, she knew what it was, but it was in really nice condition. And fortunately, she gave me a really good price. Anyway, so on Discogs, I managed to find one just like it. There it is. Good Rockin' Tonight. 4 Sun Songs, another UK only EP on the HMV label. So I've now got both HMV EPs and all 3 HMV LPs. And that's another really nice looking record. It's at least as good as the one I had many years ago. However, I am several pounds worse off, but that's what happens when you buy these books. Poorer, but much happier. I'm going to leave it there for now. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.